Okay, this will be an interesting one. How we're going to make this look. This is going to be a challenging one. I've got a gut feeling. So it's not going to be an easy type of original to work with. I think we're going at 200 for this. And we're not going with negative image. We're going to make this positive image, I think, if it's going to look any good. It's going to be an interesting one if we can make it work. So we've done that contrast. Maybe we're going to make it a blue tint. Going to tint it a bit blue, or light blue, but not all the way. Maybe the hue could go to the cooler end of the warmer end of the spectrum rather. And we're just going to set our colour balance up as usual. I don't know how this is going to look with our settings, but what is it? It looks like a postcard, but it is. Oh, it's a Sydney Opera House. Oh, I like that number. That's a nice number. Very nice. Anyway, we got here. This is obviously some kind of concert. So this is just like a piece of. Looks like ordinary. Looks like a painting of the none other than the Sydney Opera House. So we're just going to put that on the glass and shuffle it around. See if we can make it look better than the original. Oh dear, that didn't move all that easily. It's difficult. Let's see if we've made it look better. Okay, that looks quite nice. You can see the hue is warmer and you got the blue. So that looks a lot better than the original in my opinion. So we're going to do some work on it. We're going to just enlarge it vertically. So that looks really cool. So now we're just going to consign this to the recycle pile. And we're just going to go and we're going to enlarge this mostly on the vertical. We're going to enlarge it vertically and a little bit horizontal, but not much horizontal. So now we're just going to switch it to copied paper and we're going to just try and get it in place. So we're going to enlarge it on the vertical. See how we go. So the vertical's got to go up. I'm wondering about the horizontal. We're just going to enlarge the vertical. So we're just trying to line this up against the edge of the page. It's a bit crooked. It feels a bit crooked. We're just going to quickly play with the buttons so we don't lose our settings. So we're just going to try and make the edge of that nice and neat. And we're just going to go with the vertical. I've got a gut feeling I'm going to have to overlap the edges of this, unfortunately. So we're just going to do a little bit of an overlap so we don't get large, ugly fucking borders. I hate borders, big borders, that just look so unsightly. So now the vertical's going to get the bulk of the enlargement. The horizontal will be 104 and the vertical will probably be 125. So let's see. Well, we got to get the other settings in play, get them set up properly. So we're just going to go here and maybe, don't know, we're just going to leave it like that and see what happens. Okay, out it comes. And yeah, that looks quite nice. And we just got it in at the top, which looks really good. So I'm thinking now we're going to run with these settings, except there's still some bordering I guess I didn't lift it up high enough, but I'm thinking it should be all right. But you can see there's more colour in this than the original, which is really amazing what you can do. Even though this machine is made by a company that's full of financial corruption and shit, well, basically, and industrial, because most of this machine was, some of this machine was made in China and Vietnam, as well as Japan, and these two countries, China and Vietnam, are third world countries that are often exploited for cheap labour. We all know China is a cheap labour place, and I don't know what part was made in China as opposed to Japan, because the Japanese and the Chinese label were on the same part of the machine. So I don't know which one's which. Vietnam, I think, was for the base of the machine because it was written on the base. Try and work that one out, folks. So that's one thing when me and my future husband Luigi, when we start building photocopiers, one of the things we're going to eliminate is cheap labour. We're going to pay people what they're actually worth, and they're worth a lot more than what they get paid currently today in places like China. So I don't want to hurt people who are working in the factory. I want the people in the factory to have a happy life, to have a life that's worthwhile, and both in the workplace and away from the workplace. I want them to be happy workers. I want them to not to be exploited. I'm not the kind of person that wants to exploit people for cheap labour. I'm the kind of person that would rather forego some profit. And I'm going to make a lot of money anyway, so I'm going to make so much fucking money it's not funny. And most of that money is going to be used for good causes like science and technology and shit like that. So we need we need a fairer workplace, a more ethical workplace, and I'm not going to work these people too hard or pay them too little. They've got to be paid the right pay for what they're worth, and they're worth a lot more than what these fuckwit companies of today do. Anyway, enough about that. That looks really good. I think it's time to call it quits.